Hey, welcome back everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Inner Strength Check Radio. I'm your host, Brady, and today we're back with the most millennial rendition of your classic music radio show format, podcasting. So, typically we are an blog, podcast, social media, various other platforms. You've seen us around the traps, hopefully, and if not, welcome. We like to explore all things related to the arts, music, hobbies, and the like for your mental health. Now, I hope that those of you down under and in the, literal global south are beating the heat today and staying frosty, whilst I wish the complete opposite of that for our chilly northern hemisphere listenership. So wherever you're listening in today, or indeed just watching along on YouTube, we've got a number of select tracks from both sides of this water-covered spheroid we call Earth today. Not exactly Kevin Costner Waterworld, but we're getting there. The polar ice caps are melting, all that. So we'll be spinning a number of recent releases from the undergrounds of Australian and international music scenes. We'll also be providing you with something that I didn't do last time, which is a number of heavy news, which is our moniker for general heavy alternative news updates. So in addition, should you wish to pursue any of the artists mentioned today a little further, you'll be able to do so via the upcoming accompanying link, which you can find at www.innerstrengthcheckpodcast.com/blog. I encourage you guys to take a look there because it will have a lot of the press release and promotional materials, so you'll be able to get further information from the artists themselves, additional album info, sneak peek listens, streaming links, singles. It's going to be fairly packed, actually. That's going to be one busy vlog page, and I like to promote artists pretty intensively. So I don't actually apologize for that. So you're just going to have to have a dig around. There's going to be quite a bit of information in the show notes for today on the blog. But first of all, I have an announcement. For those of you wise enough to exist outside this hellish pit of flame wars and AI slop that is the modern iteration of social media, you may have missed an important announcement. The first being, we, in a strength check, are going live with our Patreon finally on this Friday, 20th of Feb. Woo! Totally not breaking it, totally not shitting myself, completely prepared, of course, because I am the podcaster and this is a top-down format, and apparently you have to present for maximal SEO as the expert in everything. Therefore, I am totally not lying when I say I have no reservations at all. It's actually been quite a long time in the making. I've been slowly working on this for a long time. I've had a lot of self-esteem issues around this. I mean, anyone that's not new to the podcast will probably glean that that's a bit of an ongoing feature, not a bug for this guy. But I've decided to have worked my way through that, and I'm ready to go. So throughout the week, I'm going to be sharing some updates around what to expect from becoming an Inner Strength Check Patreon member ahead of the official launch on Friday, the 20th of Feb, which will be Australia 20th, so probably the 19th for a lot of you. Now, the asking price I'm looking at the moment is a mere $5 Australian, which is roughly $2 to $3 a month USD, probably less for Euro and the pound. Our dollar's never great, so that's the advantage for you guys in superior currencies. You think about it, $5 a month, it's not even one of your fancy deconstructed soy decaf, must be just above room temperature, whatever, complex lattes that you Melbourneites and city slickers would enjoy. So it's cheap. And with that support tier, you will get access to things like I'm partnering with a local Melbourne creative whose name I won't reveal just yet, but I know they do some quality work. We're actually looking at developing a line of merch. So that includes some stickers, fridge magnets, those sorts of cool things. I will be looking at t-shirts and that sort of thing in the future. That's in the works. But for right now, Patreon members will be able to access those in the near future with a discount relative to that provided by for the general public. Of course, as well as part of your usual Patreon fare, there's going to be some additional podcast episodes, some bonus episodes, and some members-only blog content as well. In addition to that, I'll be doing monthly giveaways and potentially other giveaways throughout a given month for things like gift cards for Bandcamp, drivethrurpg.com, the Steam store, and even some label-specific and other exclusive collaborations and partnerships. Those will be available for members of the Patreon community. As well, we're looking at, I'm in the last stages of developing and finalizing our Discord, so that will be a members-only private platform. I'm at the stage of just weighing up whether that will more so exist on Patreon. I'm leaning towards housing that in a Discord format, irrespective of some of the recent issues that are starting to pop up with the whole enshittification process. I just think it's a nice way to contain Discord community. If it truly goes the way of the Cory Doctorow Dodo, then I'll do my work on in the future in putting it to an alternative format. But for now, the idea is to have a community where there will be group chats, updates, forums, that sort of thing on Patreon, and then also Discord. Last but not least, there'll be an opportunity for you to have your say in future Inner Strength Check content, guiding future episodes, topics of interest, podcasts, that sort of thing. Deep dives. I would like to utilize the community that we're going to build in terms of being representative of the ISC community at large, and therefore having some more like user-driven, consumer-driven, listener-driven, etc. content. So all that for 5 schmackaroos Australian a month. It's a bargain, mate. It's a bloody ripper. So if you are interested in the prospect of that, we will be launching that soon. However, first and foremost, I am now going to go over to some heavy news updates. Oh dear, we're only minutes in and I have already ADHD'd it for the podcast. This is going to be an interesting episode, you guys. I just sat and read you out a whole press release, and who forgot to hit unmute on the mic? Speaking of muting and being silenced and censorship, with thanks to John Howarth of Reigning Phoenix Music and Nuclear Blast fame, my man with the heavy music plan, he's given us a bit of an update on something that I think speaks very much to being muted, and that is as follows. Behemoth, right? I'm sure you've all heard or seen the latest furor around it, right on the cusp of the tour. So we're going to read the official news release statement here, and apologies if I look like I'm not making eye contact with you. Number one, that's the tism talking. Number two, people listening in on the podcast audio only version are going, hurry up, dude, we don't care. And my webcam is falling off. And again, podcast listeners, I know you don't care, but that's just me neurodivergently narrating things in real time. Speaking of narrating things in real time, we are about to cop Behemoth's Australian tour. Timely, because there has been, and quoting the news item, Satanic panic as Turkish government cancels Behemoth. Australia now stands to face the band's full, unrestrained wrath. On the eve of their Chant of the Eastern Lands Australian tour, the governor of Istanbul has cancelled Behemoth's concert there in an effort to save Turkish youth from, and I'm air quoting here heavily, podcast listeners, exposure to satanic filth. Gül addressed the cancellations on social media last week, stating, "No activity that corrupts society in Istanbul has ever been permitted up to this day. and it will not be permitted in the future either. And do not ask me why I sound like the guy that does hobo with a shotgun and machete trailers. I don't know what that accent was for, but there it is. Thankfully, here in Australia, we're all on board with satanic filth. Yeah, we are. Hail Satan, you. And the band will deliver their biggest shows yet when they arrive in the country this week. Australian fans can now expect an ultra-fired-up Behemoth to attack their shows with unrestrained wrath and hellfire. Brutal. Australia, Behemoth are coming with full force. They will not back down. And hopefully none of our bourgeois two-party system senators, politicians, or whatever kick up stinks. I don't think they're going to stop them this time round. So for the tour dates, you can access tour dates and other info, additional media, that sort of thing with the show notes, of course, but I'm going to read them out to you just in case you CBF, mate. Behemoth Australian tour dates are as follows. They're playing first Wednesday, February 18th at the Tivoli in Brisbane, great venue. Friday, February 20th at the Metro in Sydney. Saturday, they're playing 21st at the Forum in Melbourne, another great choice of venue. Sunday, February 22nd is their last show. South Australians get the final whip crack at the Gov in Adelaide. You can get your tickets from thephoenix.au/behemoth-2026. And if you can be bothered of memorizing that, once again, it'll be in the show notes on our blog. So stay tuned for that one, because it's going to be a Satan-horrific affair. No, they're a fantastic band live. I think I last saw them 2016, and that was just one of the most thematic and theatrical extreme metal shows I've seen to date. Up there with Batushka in terms of just the richness and attention to detail of both the music and the performative aspects. So highly recommended you get along to that one. You best be quick though, because I'm pretty sure shows are close to selling out if they haven't already. So jump on and check those show notes and ticket away and let your wallet scream. You enjoying this very home brand, fancy, transition-free Franklin's Costco version of metal podcast radio yet, guys? Well, good. And if you're not, I am featuring two artists right now that are actually available on our website for an album review. A double feature I did today, with the first being the split from the impressively named Forcefed, Horsehead and Shaving the Wolf, both from Norway. And in particular, their split from Horrid to Worse. That review on the website also contains the full-length album review for Agonbite Misery's Remorse of Conscience, which is a US-based experimental, black and death, doom, sludge, post-punk, new wave, post-metal, everything, really. These guys are still quite musically disparate and pretty eclectic in their mix. However, it's a little bit more, I guess, refined than the latter. You could mention, if you wanted to put the central thesis of Forcefed Horsehead's sound, for me, it's very much, as the band state themselves, grind punk. There's a lot of elements of Every Time I Die / Cancer Bat style single string bounciness, but there's quite a heavy addition of both grind blasting and D beats. Vocally, it's pretty stock standard hardcore, but with a strong sort of death thrash bent. Whereas Shaving the Werewolf, I would say they up the dissonance factor even more. And if I had to pigeonhole them as anything, which I don't really like doing with artists like this, they're a band I could see on a System of a Down to a lineup, but also scaring the hell out of all the kids. There is that sort of chaotic, eccentric nature there, especially with regards to System of a Down's first LP. So if you're a fan of that album, imagine that mixed in with a hell of a lot of mathcore and some Kvelertak style black and roll influences. So Across both tracks, which I'm going to feature right now, the first being Forcefed Horsehead's Cryptids, the second being Shaving the Werewolves, Smoking the Crack of Dawn, hell yeah. These are two independent artists. You are able to access the full LP on that album review, and indeed everywhere, because it's out now. So if you want to divert from all things blackened, a la Behemoth, and subvert Norwegian tropes and stereotypes, we aren't going to be burning down any churches anytime soon with these guys, I don't think, although there is a blackened influence in there. Far more likely to find these guys metaphorically passed out in the gutter at either the warehouse hardcore gig or a grind band dive bar in Oslo, Norway. So enjoy these ones. They're fast, they're fun. I rate them both. They got a good review from me, and I recommend you check them out. And whether you like it or not, here they both are. So let's have a listen.
Just Mostly threatening. What's the matter? What's wrong? Imagine the bliss if you don't lay alone. You can't run, you can't hide, you can't get away from your inside. I will not submit. It won't have my kids.
What do you reckon? What do you reckon? You like it? You like it? I liked it. It's fast. It's fun. It's riffy. We're going to take a little bit of a detour though for now, and we're going to do something that is slightly dancier and a little bit more, let's say, Peter Griffin coded. Now, why on earth would I torture you with 10 to 15 seconds of Peter Griffin posting? Well, you know what? It's always sunny in Greater Geelong region. Well, not really, but I mean, especially today, it is damn. In fact, you might hear some environmental noise from the outside because it is just damn hot up in here. And if you're feeling like a little bit of all that heavy metal madness before is a bit too much, why not skip over to our podcast and enjoy a cooler slice of podcast interviewing? I recently interviewed none other than Dick Valentine, the enigmatic and self-described, again for podcasters, drunk uncle, apostrophes, air quotes, whatever you want to call it, frontman of disco punk party metalers Electric Six. Check out the show notes for that, or head over to our blog, channel, socials for either video and or audio only podcast versions. Dude's hilarious, and I mean, I had to even stifle more laughs than the ones you heard there. So check out the full details on the tour, which is coming up next month, the Greatest Hits Tour, and can confirm they are a fun bop. It will be a fun night, so head on over there and check that out. It's good times. It's going to be good times. Okay, the software is not allowing me to alt-tab between programs, so I got to do this bit by memory. Fine, whatever. ADHD versus radio, let's go. So next up, and totally priming you with that little bit of Peter Griffin dancing before, we are going to check out something a little different. We are going to be delving back into the musical subterranean. We are going to be entreated to a fast-ripping melodeath meets proggy thrash meets old school carcinoid yuckiness in a big fat ball of riffs, care of Necronomicon x Mortis, particularly the track Hungry for Brains. Let's not waste any more time with my terrible horror impersonation tropes, and I'm going to whip you upside the head with a bunch of classic death metal riffage meets thrash meets melodeath meets just downright nastiness. So, for those who envision themselves to be the last man standing during the zombie apocalypse, even though statistically you absolutely wouldn't be so, or if you just feel enamored by the idea of being a mindless corpse-eating ghoul, either way, this is for you. This is Hungry for Brains by Necronomicon x Mortis.
fucking dead.
Right, just to throw off you death thrashers even a bit more, because there's nothing more that I love than pissing off overly serious metalheads. You know, one thing that zombies don't usually eat in zombie movies, it's a pretty typical trope. Now I'm introducing Stewie Griffin Family Guy. Animals. And speaking of animals, the animals, that's right, the animals, 60s British legends, the Animals, are bringing their House of the Rising Sun tour down to Australia in 2026. The Animals were a major force in the British invasion of the 1960s, blending blues, R&B and rock into a sound that has inspired generations. Their music remains as relevant and powerful today as it was back then. Britannia ruled the airwaves in the 60s in the front ranks. Marching in formation behind the Beatles were the Animals, who became the second British band to top the American charts after the Beatles. Featuring original member John Steele alongside Danny Hendley, Barney Williams and Norman Helm, music fans can expect a fantastic concert of the best of the Animals. Great songs, great memories. Join the Animals this October as they perform all their greatest hits on the House of the Rising Sun tour. And I guarantee you and your dad and your mum and your uncles and aunties are all going to be vying for tickets. This is going to be an intergenerational ticket buying bloodbath if you don't get in soon. So luckily for you guys, I've got the scoop on the tour dates here. They're actually doing quite a, this is going to take a minute to read out because it's quite a run of shows. And tickets for this will just fly out the door, guys. So you'll want to get in on this before your drunk uncle sobers up from his fifth tally of VB this afternoon. They are playing at Friday, 6th of November at Rozelle, the Bridge Hotel. Saturday, 7th of November, Rozelle, the Bridge Hotel again. Wednesday, 11th of November, they're playing at Wyong at the Art House. Friday, 13th of November, they're playing in Canberra at the Southern Cross Club. On Saturday, the 14th, they'll be at Thirroul at Anita's Theatre. That's Thirroul, and everyone in that town's probably going to laugh when they hear me pronounce that. First time I've seen it. Sunday, 15th November, Marrickville at the Factory Theatre. Thank God Marrickville is a little bit more pronounceable than that Lord of the Rings sounding sound before it. And now they're going to be out in Pitchforks. Friday, 20th of November, they're heading back up to Tweed Heads for playing at the Twin Towns. Saturday, 21st of November in Brisbane at the Mansfield Theatre. The following night, they'll be playing at the Tivoli in Brisbane. So who knows, there might still be some set pieces knocking around for Behemoth in that one. Tuesday, 24th of November, they're playing at Bendigo at the Ullambara Theatre. Wednesday, the 25th, they're playing in Wendouree at the Centre for Performing Arts. That's close-ish to me-ish. Friday, 27th of November, they'll be playing at the Launceston Country Club. And Saturday, the 28th of November, Hobart at the Odeon. Sunday, 29th at Burnie, the Burnie Arts Centre. Wednesday, 2nd of December, Adelaide at the Gov. And finally finishing up in Perth. Perth actually gets one for once. 4th of December at the Regal Theatre. So there is a lot going on there. Tickets will be, the pre-sale starts this Wednesday, 18th of Feb, 2026 at 10 a.m. local time. So you've got a chance to get in before all your boomer relatives, guys. The general public on sale will then follow on Friday the 20th of February 2026 at 10 a.m. local time. You can go to metropolistouring.com/the-animals-UK-2026 or indeed just take the lazy man's option and check out our show notes because the link's going to be there. Totally not a self-promo. Now, for those unfortunately still butthurt metalheads amongst the flock, I am going to ease your anal retentive pains and play you some progressive death thrash. But first I want to introduce the band, and I want to introduce them in their own words. So, formed in 2013 in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Dissentience is a progressive death thrash metal band that combines the technical precision of death metal with the relentless energy of thrash. Rejecting retro imitation and genre stagnation, the band creates forward-thinking metal that is both aggressive and dynamic. Drawing influence from bands like Trivium, Revocation, Silosis, The Black Dahlia Murder, Death, and Lamb of God, Dissentience forges a sound built on sharp riffs, crushing rhythms, and inventive songwriting. So, these guys have an EP coming out shortly, a concept EP known as Kaiju. Again, full details on this will be up on our website with all the press release material, links, all that good stuff. You'll be able to sneak yourself some extra peeks at some of the artwork available. The album art is cool. It's definitely in lock with the theme. And speaking of the theme, we're just going to do exactly as it says on the tin. I'm now going to play you the title track from Dissentience from the Kaiju EP. Funnily enough, can you guess the title? Hint. It's Kaiju.
Straight
I am further going to appease you thrashers out there with some news that I'm very excited about. And if you haven't watched the 40-minute or so documentary with a new lineup, the link to that will be in the show notes. But I highly encourage everyone to just jump on YouTube and search for, wait for it, who? Yeah, you guessed it, Nevermore. Nevermore have announced a signing to Reigning Phoenix Music and a forthcoming show with their new lineup. And by the way, if you watch that documentary, the new lineup is absolutely baller. I mean, the singer and the bassist, new singer and bassist, they're just so locked in. It's not funny. Obviously, no one can replace the great Warrell Dane, but the new singer, man, he is a fitting replacement. So let's get a little bit into the details. Ola Eglund actually followed the band and helped produce the documentary. So legendary heavy metal powerhouse Nevermore have signed with Reigning Phoenix Music. The band also welcomes to the lineup Jack Kotoy on guitar, Samir Ozerkan on bass, and new vocalist Berzan Onan, and apologies if I've mispronounced those there. To showcase the new lineup, Nevermore's first live appearance will take place on April 1st, 2026 in Istanbul, Turkey. Now, I'm just going to do my usual riffing of like quotation marks here. This is absolutely not an impression of either of these guys. On this new chapter, guitarist Jeff Loomis and drummer Van Williams share, "We are thrilled to announce that Nevermore has officially signed with Reigning Phoenix Music. It was obvious from the start that they were the perfect partner for the new era of Nevermore. Their passion for metal music combined with the extensive industry pedigree of their team made the choice easy. We can't wait to get back on stage in front of our fans in Istanbul on April 1st, and we are just as excited to finish writing and putting together a new Nevermore album." Reigning Phoenix Music co-founder Gerardo Martinez comments on Nevermore joining the RPM roster. "There are no words to describe how proud and excited RPM is at the prospect of being part of Nevermore's next chapter. Having been a fan since 1995 when I saw them on tour with Death, you lucky bastard, I've followed them on their entire musical journey and cannot wait for what is yet to come." Directed and produced by Ola Englund, Nevermore have released a documentary film, as mentioned, showcasing the rehearsals in January this year at Swan's Neck Soundworks in Väderstad, Sweden, featuring powerful raw performances of their tracks, including The River Dragon Has Come, Engines of Hate, and The Heart Collector. It offers a thrilling insight into the band's new era. The film also sees guitarist Jeff Loomis and drummer Van Williams discuss their decision to bring Nevermore back, introduce new members, and reveal their thoughts throughout the audition process. And one of the little sort of tidbits from that is that they actually did sit through and watch every single audition and interview. And there were apparently a lot of them, guys. So to sum up, in the words of one of my favorite guitarists of all time, if not my favorite, as Nevermore steps into 2026, the mission is grounded in honesty and intensity. Jeff captures the heart of it. Van and I are super passionate about the band. What we deliver and bring back to the audience is us wanting to hear those old tracks again just as much as the fans. We obviously want our old fans there every step of the way, but we look forward to meeting a new generation of fans as well. Older, wiser, still loud. That's Nevermore for you. I'm so glad they're back. Please tour Australia, please. Oh God, you have no idea the kidneys I would sell. Mine and others. I've never caught them. I just missed the boat and regret it ever since. So please, please, please tour Australia.
And this is?
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Yeah.
Multipass.
Leela, Multipass. She knows it's Multipass. Leela Dallas, my wife. We're newlyweds. Just met.
Multipass.
You know how it is. Bump into each other, sparks happen. Yeah, she knows it's a Multipass. Yeah. Anyway, we're in love.
Ah, the fifth element. Ah, young love. You know, my girlfriend is kind of like my Porsche. I don't have one. Okay, terrible dad jokes aside, I'm going to be throwing more dad jokes into the radio show, I think. Just to torture you guys a bit more. But to send out today, I'm going to sate your blackened appetites. I've got a blistering track to send off the broadcast for today, so let's get the skinny on the final track. This is from the words of Kunal and Co. Shout out to Kunal Chokshi and crew from Transcending Obscurity Records. Effectively, the modern man's earache with just how much and how relentlessly they are pumping out and signing quality bands and material. This one is for Greek band Phasma. Phasma are attempting to meld influences ranging from black metal to brutal death metal and everything in between. The music effortlessly oscillates from sharp black metal riffs to pummeling death metal blasts with matching vocal styles, and even tosses in a breakdown or two in the middle. Oh no, watch out, purists. It's something that doesn't seem to work on paper, and yet they manage to make it sound cohesive and convincing enough, with songwriting that's elaborate and well thought out to warrant songs lasting beyond mere novelty quick listen length. Every song seems like an extension, if not an improvisation, over the previous one, as the band unfurls dimensions within the sound that they've concocted. Bands playing a mix of styles isn't uncommon, but to intermingle influences of such disparate, almost contrasting styles is fascinating and remarkable, especially when they have high replay value and lasting appeal. Like it or not, Phasma are here to stay. And the recommended for fans of, I actually think is on point. I mean, Canal's always on point with the recommendations of genre. So if you're a fan of bands like MGLA, Dying Fetus, Crypts of Despair, Krieg's Machine, and Psychroptic, you'll get a kick out of these guys. I would go a step further and say if you're also a fan of bands like Red Harvest, let me think who else. Mithras is a good one. Even a smidge of Hate Eternal, but more blackened. So we're going to be, the track listing is simply 1 through to 6 in Roman numerals. We're going to listen to track number 1 to end off tonight. So thank you very much for sticking around. We will now be departing, and you no longer have to hear anything else from me. Thank God. Until next time, I wish you all a happy, safe week. And as always, before we kick on with some black and death metal extremity, as always, peace, love, and grindcore. I'm Brady. This is Inner Strength Check Radio. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.